a.m. This is KUTV Kenya, and we're broadcasting from our main stations right within the best university in the Republic of Kenya, according to the latest World Global Ranking for universities. Kenyatta University overtakes University of Nairobi to become the top university, which means this is a top television station to watch every single morning, which makes this the top show to watch for your week and for your day. So welcome to Biashara Tuesday. Tag us, and you can also add, the top university, hashtag Biashara Tuesday, hashtag Rise Today, and we'll be able to see your comment. Interact with us also on live stream, which I'll also be sharing on the social platforms as well. Follow that link, go into the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from, and also please let us know who else you'd like to give a shout out to watch the show, or for us to wake up and to let them know that it's time to get into the money conversations and the business conversations. So this is Biashara Tuesday. We'll be having a look at the numbers, the money, the business of the economy, politics, a few conversations here and there. So there's a host of things that you can look forward to in the 3 hours that this show is packed with. We actually might run out of time because of the amount of detail that you want to peruse here this morning. So be keen and alert. Don't touch that dial. Follow through with everything that we will be going on here on the show. So let me give you maybe a brief overview of what you can expect in the discussions here this morning, but a rundown of the most important ones from the Republic of Kenya. Inflation is actually at an all-time low since 2012 at 3.6%. This drop signals a positive turnaround in the economic situation that we've had for the past 5 years. Things have not been looking good. Inflation numbers going high. The government actually in its figures was trying to get us to between 2.5% to 7.5% in the median, but now we are at 3.6%, which is signaling a good move in terms of taking the steps forward in relieving the pressure in households, common household commodities. The price of fuel is also going low. EPRA's latest review shows that at Nairobi, you'll be getting a litre of petroleum at 180 Kenyan shillings. Previously, it was at 188, some time back at highs of 215 Kenyan shillings. Some parts of the country will be getting this at as low as 170 something shillings. I'll be giving you the figures in the traffic updates later on, but these two bits of information are very relevant as we try and look at the positives from our economy. So inflation is down. It means that the cost of common products might also be going down. Fuel prices are also going down, which means that prices of transportation, prices of manufacturing, prices of electricity. Remember that Kenya's electricity grid is also powered by petroleum at around 10%. So it means that tariffs at your household might also be taking a dive downwards, and therefore a cause for you to breathe a sigh of relief, and also hopefully things might get even better as we look forward into the future. So I thought it's important that I begin with that bit of positive information. Almost forgot as well, the shilling has been doing really well. For the past 19 months, this is actually the lowest it's been. 1 shilling to the dollar at 128 Kenyan shillings to $1. I remember at the beginning of this year in January, we were at highs of 160 shillings to $1, and we were fearing that this might breach the 200 shilling mark. However, now we are at 128. Let me know though, if you can feel the effects of this positivity where you're at. You should be able to feel that inflation is dropping. You should be able to feel that the cost of common products has also been lowered. So let me know if your 1,000 shilling, or whatever it was buying you a few months ago, if that's better now, or these are just figures that you're seeing in the media, just like the rest of the Kenyans. But let us know how that positivity is looking like for you. More positivity from across the borders. Ruth Chepngetich, we are celebrating a marathoner who's now broken the world record in marathon for the female side of things. And this is what happened in Chicago, where she slashed off 2 minutes of that world record to bring it down from 1 hour 11 minutes to 1 hour and 9 minutes. This is the best record for anyone on the planet, previously held by Ethiopian last year, which was set at 1 hour and 11 minutes, now by Ruth Chepngetich, who has no coach By the way, something that we'll be having a look at later in the discussions in the newspaper review section. How is she able to set a world record without a coach? Which means with the better training, better facilities, and better support from our country, that record might go as low as Eliud Kipchoge's record, even below 2 hours. So that's something we will be also having a look at later on. Harambee Stars, however, brings us our first bit of bad news after their defeat to 1-0 to Cameroon, that is in the Mandela International Stadium in Uganda. They are playing a home game in Uganda, and I'm sure Saturday on the spot we'll be having pinches to give you more of those comical details. But Harambee Stars' hopes of qualifying for AFCON in 2025 seem to be dented after their latest loss of 1-0 to Onana's team, and this game was played in Uganda. I'm sure this will show up in the newspaper review section, so that will also be something that we'll be discussing into it later when you look at the sports sections as they've been splashed on the dailies. Impeachment fevers in the Republic of Kenya. Yesterday, the governor of Kericho also facing an impeachment motion in Senate, which was thrown out because there was not enough quorum in the MCAs who participated in the impeachment motion over in Kericho, in Kericho before it was brought to Senate. So he was saved by the Senate who threw that case out. However, one man who's still in troubles is a DP Rigathi Gachagua, who's facing his impeachment trial beginning Wednesday, that is tomorrow, in the Senate. However, this battle is yet to be over on his side, as there have been as many as 26 bids lodged in courts to propose, or to oppose rather, to oppose that impeachment motion from going on. 26 cases, and this has forced the CJ of this Supreme Court, that is Martha Koome, to constitute a 3-judge bench to have a consolidated look at all of these cases ahead of the impeachment trial, which begins tomorrow, which means that by the end of this week we might know the fate of DP Rigathi Gachagua. We hate to discuss this kind of politics, but we have no choice but to have a look at the proceedings. So therefore later, as much as we hate to love to talk about this, we'll be joined by Ojwang Mariam, and alongside a gentleman who's a youth leader from the sides of Rift Valley and as well as in Kenya, in Nairobi, Kemboi Felix, joining us for the second time alongside Ojwang Mariam to look at those political developments, the impeachment fevers that are running around in the country, and of course the latest happenings in politics as they've been splashed in the dailies. Now, as I speak here, I am speaking to an audience that is outside of this studio. Numbers I can't even quantify at a go. This is public speaking in itself. This is an art of communication. If you're one of those people who find themselves in discussions, in conversations, and your contribution is mazee, hiyo ni noma, kali sana, and you have nothing more than that to say, or you have nothing important to contribute, how do you boost your art of communication? How do you boost your public speaking skills? These are important for both your personal, if you're trying to create social capital, or your professional life, if you're trying to create business networks or professional networks. This discussion is important, and that's why we're having here today. How do you do it? If you're someone who's an introvert and can't speak in public, or have fears of speaking in front of masses, how do you improve those skills, and how relevant are they for you? There's a club actually that is 100 years old, started way back in 1914. It turns 100 years this month, mid of October, and I'm having a conversation with the club that represents the international organization in Kenyatta University, Toastmasters. They're called Toastmasters International, and here in Kenya I'll be having a look at this discussion of art of communication and effective public speaking with Consolata Wairimu, who's the vice president of the Toastmasters Club in Kenyatta University. She's joining me here earlier before the newspaper review section so that we see what is it that makes good public speakers. This This breeds good leaders, and therefore if you're looking forward to leadership in the future, as we always urge the young people to take up these spaces, how do you boost your public speaking skills so that you can gain that advantage in your professional and personal lives? Those are the discussions we're prepared for you here this morning, and a roundup of news happening all around the world. So tweet us out at KUTV Kenya, at Richard_OKENYE. I'll be looking at that feedback and also interacting with you all the way to the end. But first, what is happening on those roads? Updates out of the world, transport and traffic conditions, alternative routes to use, coming to you in a short while. Do not go too far. All right, this is information I'm receiving from a host of accounts and also from you yourself. If you're out there on the roads, tuambie mahali ukiangalia nje ya dirisha kunakaa namna gani. But on Twitter, I'll be looking at it from Mathri route, from the motorist office, and also motorist office is the Motorist Association of Kenya. Their Twitter account is at motorist office, and Mathri route is what gives me real-time updates in conditions in the city. And then there's Road Updates KE, which will also be informing me of some information and sensitization in terms of the rules you need to follow through in Kenya. But first, again, this morning I'm trying as much as possible to be positive, or to start from positive news before I head out to anything else. So let me begin with that information from EPRA, the latest fuel price drop across the country. Pump prices have dropped to the lowest in 19 months to reflect the lower import costs, in a move that is likely to also ease pressure on the level of inflation. So if you're at 3.6% now, we're expecting that to go even lower. If only EPRA could first also heed to court orders which require them to scrap that fuel levy, which is applied on every litre of petroleum at 17 shillings. So imagine if this dropped by a further 17 shillings, more relief for us as citizens and road users as well. So in Nairobi, you'll be getting 1 litre of petroleum at 180 Kenyan shillings in Nairobi, while diesel will be also at 168. That is diesel, and kerosene at 151 for kerosene, diesel at 160, and petroleum at 180. In other regions across the country, like in Nakuru, for example, you'll be getting a litre at 179. In Mombasa, you'll be getting a litre at 177, and for kerosene as low as 148. Some towns, though, you'll be getting it at slightly higher prices because of transportation costs. Places like Isiolo, Garissa, Mandera, we're getting it at a little above 180, but still, it's still lower than 190, and the 215 that it was in January. So this is the lowest it has been in 19 months. This is good news for manufacturers, farmers, road users who are also going to benefit, because they are reliant on fuel for production, for logistics, for transportation, and for operation expenses. Also, electricity tariffs to go lower, because the production of electricity also does heavily depend on fuel. As much as 10%. Our electricity grid depends on fuel as high as 10% of its production. So hopefully that message that you get later from Kenya Power when you purchase your electricity tokens this month might be at a reduced figure from what you've been used to previously. So that's the relief for road users. Ambia matatu driver, kama uko kwa matatu saizi, conductor mwambie punguze bei kwenda town ama kutoka town, kwa sababu mafuta imepungua. So bus fare pia tunataka ipungue. Matatu Association, ebu sikizieni hiyo mambo and heed to that. I see Lee Ibrahim on Twitter Anasema Athi River is the only place with traffic in an entire country at this point, and I am still stuck in it on my way to town. So Lee Ibrahim, Athi River, anasema ni aje kumishikana huko. Might not be the only one, but he says he sent a screenshot and looks all red to signal heavy traffic from Athi River train station as you come towards the sides of Mombasa Road. So inamaanisha watu Mombasa Road pia mambo si mazuri sana. Here is Lofty B saying that could someone look at this and tell me exactly what's happening before I go too far. This is a picture of his tires which look like they have no grip whatsoever, so please visit the nearest mechanic or garage before you cause any accidents out there. Lunga Lunga Road is a no-go zone. It's a parking lot either way. Avoid completely if you can. CS Kipchumba Murkomen, are you busy buying watches or fixing our transport system in Nairobi? I'd like to inform you that we will get to know the answer from Kipchumba Murkomen. He's not currently in charge of that docket of transport that is under Chirchir, CS Chirchir. So tag the correct one, but still Kipchumba Murkomen, where are our stadiums? That's a question we need to answer ahead of AFCON qualifications. EPRA announces new fuel prices. Vincent Amwange celebrating here on Twitter. Anasema tusisifu mbuzi kwa kula nyasi. Alright. Hatutamsifu EPRA, tutaendelea kuambia wapunguze hiyo bei. Ruaka at it again, Limuru Road, Denderu to Equity Ruaka kumeshikana. The place needs footbridges because of an accident here. A KD plate has hit two, both have been fatal, but no deaths have been confirmed. Whoever directed road construction at this rush hour from Kitengela interchange to almost Green Park, it's a total mess. So from Kitengela to the Green Park terminus in CBD, I hope that's the correct location. Green Park terminus. It's a total mess both ways. Watu wa Kitengela poleni sana. Tafuta alternative routes that you can use. That's information from 3 routes. I don't think the Motorist Association have anything for us this morning. Maybe to have a very quick look at Kenya traffic. Kenyan traffic anasema pay attention while driving, keep your phone away, use a mobile phone whether on handheld or on hands-free is distracting. So while make a mount kwa windscreen and you have your phone up there, Uber drivers and the whatnot, please do not use it. You might still be distracted whether hands-free or hands-on. That's information from Kenyan traffic to give you sensitization kwamba tafadhali usitumie simu ukiwa pale nje. Ni katikati ya mwezi. I'm not seeing a lot of complaints from the roads in terms of traffic snarl-ups and majorly on Thika Road, Mombasa Road, watu wa Kiambu Road hawajaongea kitu. Inamaanisha that fuel guzzlers have been packed ahead of reduction in spending so that we see whether we are getting something at the end of the month. Tutaangalia as we go on with the show, so give us those updates. Kama unatoka sahi kwa nyumba pia ukifika pale nje unatuambia kunakaa namna gani. Weather updates just real quick. 17 degrees Celsius at the moment where I'm at in Nairobi. So kama unatoka nje usikuwe na bugdha, lakini later on it looks like it might rain. So there's chances of precipitation. Dress warmly na ubebe ka umbrella on the side. Kunaweza drizzle kidogo, but that's all for today. Tomorrow is just sunny. Sunny on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We expect some rain on the weekend leading up to Monday. So it's a generally warm week ahead. Therefore, a bit of sun and smiling. Get those serotonin levels going up and text us up with good news that you have and how you're preparing for the rest of your week. Let me take a short break and then I'm back in a few to give you more updates from the world and also the conversations on public speaking, the art of communication, and then later the newspaper review section. Don't go too far.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
Folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu, pepo pani idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na uasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaweza kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Katika maisha yetu ya leo, wakulima na jamii nyingi kwa ujumla wanakumbatia teknolojia mbalimbali na kilimo hai ili kuondoa magonjwa sugu na kuongeza usalama na utoshelevu wa chakula. Mbolea asili imepunguza asidi kwenye udongo na kuongeza mavuno chungu nzima. Wajua tuko shambani, na humu shambani pia kuna ng'ombe, kuna kuku, na wanaacha uchafu wao, na huo uchafu si wa kutupwa, ni wa kutumika katika kilimo kama mbolea, kwa sababu mimea hii imekuwa kutumia mbolea ya hawa wanyama. Wakulima mbalimbali wamekumbatia teknolojia ili kuokoa gharama ya ukulima na kutumia nafasi zilizopo katika mashamba yao.
Welcome to Focus on Health, a show on all matters health, wellness and lifestyle. I am your host, Job Offender, and on this episode we discuss what exactly Equity Afya Centers do alongside Business Development Manager Boniface Kagumba.
Is a medical center, is a franchise network of medical practitioners who came together through Equity Foundation with a mission to offer standardized, quality and affordable healthcare to all.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The Bible says, when he spoke, then he spoke a parable to them, that men always ought to pray and not lose heart.
Christ says, I stand in the door and I knock. Whoever hears my voice and opens, I will dwell with him.
Like the moon, I will fade, but like the star, I will rise again. And though I fall, be rest assured that I will rise again.
Go to the hospitals, tell them that God will heal them. Go to the prisons, tell them that they'll be free. Go to the crusades and tell people that Christ is coming, and sooner than the world itself, the second advent is imminent.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses and we wait until we get a disease and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins such as folate have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
Katika maisha yetu ya leo, wakulima na jamii nyingi kwa ujumla wanakumbatia teknolojia mbalimbali na kilimo hai ili kuondoa magonjwa sugu na kuongeza usalama na utoshelevu wa chakula. Mbolea asili imepunguza asidi kwenye udongo na kuongeza mavuno chungu nzima. Wajua tuko shambani, na humu shambani pia kuna ng'ombe, kuna kuku, na wanaacha uchafu wao, na huo uchafu si wa kutupwa, ni wa kutumika katika kilimo kama mbolea, kwa sababu mimea hii imekuwa kutumia mbolea ya hawa wanyama. Wakulima mbalimbali wamekumbatia teknolojia ili kuokoa gharama ya ukulima na kutumia nafasi zilizopo katika mashamba yao.
Where we ask the coolest questions in science. Let's go! Is yogurt really just rotten milk? Why do humans need sharks to survive? How did a 12-year-old boy from Africa invent modern vanilla farming? How do you deliver medicine to a chimpanzee? Can poop be useful? How can you save the planet by reducing air pollution? To help us answer these questions, we are inviting some wonderful guests from the world of science. They will enlighten you, make you hungry for knowledge, oxygenate your brain, and make your ideas flow. This is Engine Season 3. Let's go!
Nilivyokuambia basi niko kikao, nina mtaalamu ambaye yuko kando yangu hapa. Naam, kama kawaida nimeona Dangote yuko tayari hapa, anaanza kwa kuandaa zile sausage. Kwa hivyo jicho tu, langu ni jicho tu, au vipi Dangote?
Hapo tuleta zama tu. Unavisikiaje?
Tamu sana.
Na watu wengine wamejaribu kupata majina kama kikao, lakini bado hajafika chila drive.
Nimeona.
Na uso wa jamii, kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwe.
Maelfu na Maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu, pepo pa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaweza kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma Evans, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground.
Get ready to embark on a journey into the exciting world of technology as we uncover the latest trends, interview top thought leaders, and dive deep into the world of tech like never before.
Currently, we are facing the challenge in terms of finance. It requires one to move from different counties because we really need a large data set for our model to be more accurate.
In this new and exciting series of the Technovation Show, join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Monday 8:30 p.m. for a fun and thrilling experience as we explore the cutting-edge developments, meet visionaries driving change.
Somebody who is in the underground mine doesn't know the presence of those gases. So there are a lot of gases involved. There is methane, there is carbon monoxide, and there's also hydrogen sulfide. Those gases actually, they are very dangerous and they're very toxic.
And discover the endless possibilities of the tech world.
Access to knowledge. Solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Great, 8:05 in the morning, October 15th, 2024. Boy, am I glad to be alive. Sometimes just take your time, pause, breathe, reflect. The gift of life, that's the biggest gift you can receive every morning. A chance to do better, a chance to try again, a chance to rectify your mistakes, a chance to forgive, a chance to forget. Oh my goodness, this is like the best thing that can happen to you every single morning. So if you've woken up this day leave a comment, tell us where you're watching from, how you're feeling, you know, forget things of yesterday. Join us on the conversations which are happening right now, eternal here and now. That's all that matters. This is a part of the show where we sit back a bit, a relaxed look at things, and we have conversations with people who are very involved in the topics that we have prepared to discuss here with you. So we're beginning with this conversation on the art of public speaking, the art of communication and public speaking. How do you become better? How do you become Charlie Chaplin? How do you become Churchill Winston? How do you become Murara Kebaso? How do you become Casmuel, Makoure, Barack Obama? How do you become a good orator? How do you become good at communicating on professional levels, on personal levels? Sikwe mtu, as I said earlier on, wakusema tu, ni hivyo maze, hiyo noma. Walai, wacha. Ngori. No, we want to move away from that. Hiyo haibambi. Ile inabamba jo sahi ni hii ya Toastmasters. Here at Kenyatta University, there is a Toastmasters club. I'm skipping one part of their name because I don't want to mispronounce it, but I have the relevant person to pronounce it and to put it into perspective. Consolata Wairimu. Consolata Wairimu is the vice president of the Toastmasters that club at Kenyatta University. She's here to speak to us about the history of this club in general. It's an international club that has headquarters in the US, started 100 years ago. I don't know what you know, that's 100 years. If you have a relative who's 100 years, you can have a look at them and imagine that's how old this club is. Here at Kenyatta University, they're helping students to also gain that great art of communication and to be effective in public speaking. So let me have her introduce herself and the club as well. Alafu tupronouncie hiyo GAVEL. Alafu pia we get into the most important questions. How do you become a part of it? And also, what is it they are doing here in KU? Before she introduces herself, let me give a shout out to Kenneth Kamau, who's already tuned in. And I'm going to give a shout out, anasema Consolata. And I get up very loving emojis, psyched up for the show. Asante Kenneth. Naona Rachel Wambui Gitonga, waiting to watch my daughter live on TV. Oh, so this is your mom? Yeah. Oh, nice. Yes, now I have to do it even better knowing your mom is watching. Welcome to the show, Miss Rachel, and welcome, Consolata.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be here today.
Nice.
Yes, as I said, I'm Consolata Wairimu Awero, and this is my first time here. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm the vice president of Toastmasters Gavel Club.
Gavel Club.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know whether it's Gavel, right? So it's Toastmasters Gavel Club.
Sure, but again, it depends if you're a nursery school teacher.
Okay.
So you can choose to pronounce
how my teacher taught me, or whether I went to, what do they call them, group of schools, or, you know, the others, yeah? But yes, Toastmasters Gavel Club at Kenyatta Universities, which is part of the international club, which is Toastmasters. What is it that you guys are up to in the club?
Okay, Toastmasters is an international club, as you have heard, and it has been there, you can imagine, for 100 years. And there are so many prominent people who have been in the club, especially in the US, the political class, the business class and all that. I would say that it's a club that started, okay, we have some of the universities in Kenya like JKUAT, we have Strathmore, but in KU, we started way back in 2020. So it's a club that basically focuses on public speaking skills, communication skills, how do you talk to people, how do you relate with people, because I believe the art of communication, you have to be persuasive.
Okay.
You have to persuade people.
Right, just before you go on, let's take a very quick break so that we have something here have a look at. Please bear with us for a short while. We'll be right back. Pole.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, The premier university television station in Kenya is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Lola ni programu inayokupa fursa ya kutizama video zozote pindi tu unapokuwa na nafasi. Hadithi za kukupa motisha, drama, maisha ya vyuo vikuu, teknolojia, masuala ya jamii, kuzuru maeneo tofauti, spoti, burudani na zaidi. Pata programu ya Lola sasa kwenye rununu yako kwa yote unayohitaji.
Yeah, sometimes you're like on stage speaking, performing, and then the things just don't work. That's why you need to have good public speaking skills so that you can balance it out. Watu wakianza kukucheka, or if your monologue fails, or if you forget your things when you're performing as an artist, as a theater, as you lose your notes as a president, what do you do at that point? When you're good in the art of communication and effective public speaking, mambo mboga, as easy as toast, they would say it in other words. Anyway, here we are. Let's pick it up again. Apologies for that short hiccup. We are back to have the conversation that is relevant for us here again. For professional and personal reasons, you need to have great public speaking skills. So how do you garner that? How can students gain those kind of skills here in Kenyatta universities, in other universities also in Kenya? We're speaking with Consolata Wairimu. Let me allow her to reintroduce herself, to reintroduce the club, that is Toastmasters Gavel Club at Kenyatta University, and speak on what they do before we get into the details of some of the questions that you have and some of the questions that I have as well. Quick shout out to Francis Washiri, who's watching, saying Consolata Wairimu amesalimiana, asema waiting to watch the future Laikipia women representative. Wow, there's quite a lot here to speak of. By the way, good public speaking, I'm informed, is the core component of great leaders, great leadership, great leaders that you know had great communication skills and great public speaking skills. So maybe there's something that's brewing for Laikipia people. So tune in also what were Laikipia. Friends of mine like Lewis Ngunyi, who's from the sides of Nanyuki. If you tune in, this could be the next women rep. Stephen Ombogo, Mo Wins, Consolata. Right, let's hear from Consolata herself, guys. Keep the comments coming in. We'll get to look at them as we go on with the show. Welcome to the show once more.
Thank you so much.
Great, now we can get you well. Good morning, how have you been?
Good morning, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yes, I'm also doing good.
Nice.
I would like to shout out to the viewers in all our social media platforms, those of you who are watching on TV, live on YouTube, we really appreciate. I am Consolata Wairimu Wawero. I'm the Vice President, KU Toastmasters Gavel Club, and I'm happy to be here. We are here to talk about something I love, the art of communication, the art of not just communication, but effective communication and public speaking skills.
Right.
Yes.
100 years ago, that's how far back the Toastmasters International was founded. When did you get to hear of it yourself?
Okay, I heard of it in 2021. So by then, you remember, we had just come from COVID. So meetings were normally online. And then we reached a point and we saw that for this to be effective, we have to do this physical. And that is how we started. In fact, I went in there as a member, but immediately I was elected as the vice president.
Immediately?
Yes.
Is that how good your public speaking skills are, or what happened there?
Okay, I really don't know, but I felt those people knew that I had some positive impact and true to their words.
Okay.
For sure the club has really improved and I'm just happy. by the progress that we have made so far. For the 3 years or so, at least we are somewhere.
All right, 3 years. That's how far you've been. That's how long you've been the vice president.
Yes.
How old is the club in KU?
The club is 3 years old now. Yeah, 3 years and a half or something.
All right.
Yeah.
You're helping people to have great communication skills and effective public speaking skills. Are you helping others, or are you helping yourself? Is it a club where I come in to help myself, be good at that, or come with the club help others?
Okay, basically, I would say that every day is a learning process. As I am helping others, I'm not a competent communicator. Okay, you know, in Toastmasters, we have what we call CC1 and CC2. And CC means competent communicator. I still believe that I'm not yet there. So what I do, as I am teaching others, I'm also learning from them.
Okay.
Because even if they are not competent communicators, I believe they still have something to offer. Yes.
All right. Dedicated in improving public speaking and leadership skills. Let's begin from that before we get into other details on how the club works and the benefits. In terms of leadership, I know it's quite obvious that the good leaders have good communication skills, but some leaders do not have that. So what makes effective communication, public speaking, the core component in getting a great leader?
Okay, first, I believe that leadership and even politicians, in most cases, they are in public spaces and you are required to communicate. A very good example, I'd like to shout out to the activist, Morara Kebaso. I believe he's one person, and you know he's also a KU alumni. I believe he's one person who has mastered the art of public speaking so well that he's capturing the audience. He's now the talk in everyone's mouth, tweet, you know, in Facebook he's trending and all that. He has mastered the art. And I believe that some of these leaders get into politics with ill, you know, intentions, with ill motives, such that even when you communicate, you know, you're supposed to encourage people. At least speak some sense to people. But it's very saddening that we see politicians going there to talk ill of maybe other politicians. They cannot even explain why they are doing something. You know, if you ask them, why do we have this program in place? They cannot explain the mastermind behind that. So I believe they should actually join Toastmasters classes.
And get some of those good skills and how to explain how affordable housing works. You don't need to sweat, P.S. Charles Hinga. You can get those skills from Toastmasters. I'm pointing out P.S. Charles Hinga because he's an alumnus of my high school as well. So this is not a personal attack. It's old boy to old boy. Just to let him know, you don't need to sweat. Toastmasters have great skills that you can pick up for leadership and also for public speaking. Some would argue that you know, some of the best speakers are conmen. As you said, some leaders use this effect or this art of speaking to lie to the masses or to like drive some ill intentions against their opponents. And sometimes, even speaking from experience, have been conned in Nairobi because this was someone with good speaking skills. How do we prevent that from happening? Is there a way to, you know, determine that, okay, this is a great public speaking skill, but hapa huyu ananicheza kidogo?
Okay, I would say this, speaking of being conned, I've also been conned. I know my mom is hearing this.
For the first time?
For the first time. There's a time I was vying for a seat in Laikipia. It was something that was being conducted online. And this person comes. By the way, he was very persuasive. I think he noted that I was somehow desperate for the position. You know, most of these con men, I think they have masters in psychology or something. They know when you are desperate, they know how to, you know, to soothe you. And I was shocked. I'm telling you, 2,000 just went. I just felt, and you know, for a comrade, 2,000 is a lot of money.
That's a lot. That's chapo beans for a whole semester.
Yes, you see. So the art of public speaking, you can either use it positively or negatively. It is up to you to choose. When you use it positively, then that will serve you for a lifetime. When you use it negatively, it will not take too long for people to know. Remember, human beings are guided by conscience. Sometimes you can feel this person is actually not, you
Being
know,
truthful,
they're not truthful. Sometimes you feel, no, something is not right somewhere. So I would really encourage those who are in this field of public speaking. You can be a teacher, maybe a businessman. Use your voice to impact the society positively.
So you believe that someone who's used it in a negative way to con people, let me give an example of mine as well. I had this smooth talker in Nairobi CBD who managed to make me give him my phone. I didn't even steal it. Just a conversation, let's exchange numbers. I don't know how it got there, but I trusted him in a matter of a few seconds. So you tell me this guy can convert himself to be something positive, become a motivational speaker or become something else and, you know, make a living, an honest living out of it. It's possible for conmen to change their profession and use that effective speaking for good.
No, I don't think
so.
so.
You don't think so?
Because one, when you are a conman, that shows something about you and shows that you are not morally upright. And sometimes, I'm telling you, humans are guided by conscience. You might be having that, you know, you can sweet talk people, but at the end of the day, people are able to detect whether you are genuine or not. And I always encourage people, at least listen to your inner voice. How is that telling you? In fact, that inner voice is the voice of God. And sometimes we fail to listen to it. And sometimes coming to the art of communication and effective public speaking, I believe when you walk to a room, I always encourage my fellow Toastmasters, first of all, read the mood of the room. Don't just, before talking to somebody, at least first of all, study them. They might be feeling down, at least uplift their mood first. You know, human beings want to be appreciated. For example, I might tell you, oh, you look good in that suit.
Thank you.
I am telling you.
My mood's going up.
Exactly.
Definitely.
That is the art of effective communication and public speaking. I think it also has some aspect of psychology in it.
Okay. So KU Toastmasters Club has been active since 2020 and it's serving members in the universities, the following the Toastmasters framework. That's the logo there we are displaying on the screen for other people to also have a look at it at home. Now, let's speak about a typical meeting at the Toastmasters Club. In KU, do you come in, give, you know, the best speeches, greet each other really nicely? You know, it's just a place of great communication. How does a typical meeting go?
Okay, a typical Toastmasters meeting, we normally have Toastmasters meetings normally on Wednesday or on Thursdays because of the tight schedule students have, so we chose to only have a day. In Toastmasters, we don't have effective or competent communicators as much. We have people who are there to learn. So sometimes we even give chances to people who have never been on stage before. And I have seen so many times somebody going on stage and they're unable to speak. And they start being emotional and they cry. I have seen that so many times.
Just because they are facing a group of people.
Yeah, and it is their first time. And I encourage them. In fact, when I see that, I tell the others to clap for them. Because walking down there to the stage, it's just a show of, you are courageous, you are up to the task and all that. And most of us started there. Okay, so I'd like to say that first we have our president. He's Emmanuel Nyayo. He's a very great gentleman. So what he does, he calls the meeting to order. And then we have somebody who is the Toastmaster of the day. I love that role so much. You are the MC of the day. You know how the MCs do in Rurashio, in weddings, you see?
Interact, keep the crowd lively, give jokes here and there.
So if, as the Toastmaster of the day, you are not lively, we call them the TMOD. Definitely the whole meeting will be dull.
Because you are following your mood.
Exactly. People follow your mood. So if you are dull, you'll be dull. If you are happy, you'll be happy. So the TMOD introduces the members. So the members introduce themselves. You say your name, your school, your faculty and all that. And then you say why you are here. Or are you happy to be here? What do you expect to learn and all that? So after that, we have now the role takers. We have the grammarian of the day. So what the grammarian does is they
you have a literal grammar police. Or that's not the work.
Not really. You can even be a grammarian yourself. It does not mean that maybe you're pursuing English literature. We also have engineers who come and they are grammarians.
Okay.
So what you do your research beforehand. You look for a new word and then you come explain to us. So the meaning of this new word and how you can use it in a sentence, maybe the synonyms of the word and all that.
Yes.
So we have so many other roles. We have a counter, the use of filler words. For example, I know we have used them here so many times. I know the Toastmasters they are like,
are now counting.
Yeah, they have already counted already.
Oh, nice. I'd love to know if there's a report for me as well. Please do count for me the filler words I'll be using.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we also have the Hackmaster, we have the table topics, and then also we have the speech presenters. I feel like this is the main activity of the day, where we have the CC1. So that the meaning of CC is competent communicator.
Okay.
And CC1 is more of an icebreaker speech. You tell us about yourself, probably an event that happened to you maybe in your childhood that I know you all have that memory that still clicks in your mind. Yeah.
All right. That's a very interesting setting, especially the roles distribution from someone to look at grammar, to do the filler words. Those especially are very important for presenters on TV. The we try to cut down on those as much as possible. That's very helpful. So in this setting, I'm an introvert, right? How do you get that person first to even walk down to the stage? They're an introvert, they don't like seeing people, they get there, they become emotional, as you said. Now they're crying, now they don't want to talk. How do we transform that? What are the steps that you take to make that person eventually be an MC in the eventual meetings?
Okay, interesting enough, I find most of my friends are introverts. And what I do as an extrovert, I try bringing out the extrovert in you. As much as you are an introvert, you have an aspect of introverts or an aspect of extroverts, or in you. And that is something I do. Okay, I'm the vice president and I'm in charge of members. Personally, I enjoy interacting with people. I feel so much alive in the presence of people. So what I do, of course, I talk to you beforehand. And if, for example, I see some potential in you, I'll tell you, by the way, you should take up this role. For we have a particular role that is the timer. So what the timer does, if you're supposed to have a speech that is supposed to be 4 minutes, so they time you. So we first of all give them those roles, and then you give us, your report. So Consolata took 4 minutes, Richard took 2 minutes, and all that. So you start slowly by slowly. And I have seen them grow. So it is gradual. At first they start crying. Like there was the last meeting, there's a lady, and she's a very wonderful lady. She was emotional on stage. And she told me she had never done that before. And to some people, it might feel awkward, but I understood her. That was her first time on stage. But I told her, you know what? You can do this. And I remember even reaching out to her and told her that I think I should give you another role.
Right.
Yes, please do this.
So this is how you also prepare people for leadership. Even within the club, they get roles, they perform in those roles. Eventually, they subconsciously fit into leadership without even knowing that was the path that they were down under. How about insecurities? Let me tell you about my high school. I refused to go on stage to perform in drama clubs or in music and choir because I was afraid of let me not point out the insecurity. I had an insecurity.
Which insecurity?
I had an insecurity. I'll get some courage someday after I've joined the Toastmasters Club.
You should.
But that used to be such a bother for me. And now I can't believe it. I am on screen probably 3 times a week. And it's not a bother to me. How do you make them get over insecurities? Maybe someone has a mark on their face. Maybe they have a slurred speech. Maybe they have lisp. and they feel like, you know, maybe they stutter. Getting over that insecurity. How can it be done? How is it done at Toastmasters?
Okay, personally, I think we all have insecurities. In fact, I always tell, and because this affects the ladies mostly, they are like, how will people perceive me? You know, how am I talking before people? I remember also back in high school, when I was in Form 2, the students in Form 3 and Form 4 suggested that I should be the school president. But I had self-esteem issues at the time. I don't know exactly what was wrong with me, but I declined the position. You can imagine a Form 2, but Form 3s and Form 4s are suggesting that you should be the school president, not even their fellow Form 4s or Form 3s. So,
and
but
declined.
Imagine. Sometimes I wonder what life could have been if I picked the position. So when I came to campus, I remember my mom started talking to me, and she told me, you know, my mom is my biggest cheerleader, and my dad, my whole family, they are like, no, you know, you should start vying for these positions and all that. And I decided in campus, I'm not going to let that fear and that insecurity overcome me. Kama mbaya tunaingia, tunajituma, you see. So now I came to campus with a lot of energy and all that. And I remember even in my first year, I became a secretary of a certain club. I vied to be the vice president.
Wow, okay.
Imagine, in first year.
Confidence.
Yes.
Confidence is a big part of this, yeah?
Yes. And sometimes you find that you have insecurities, but there are people who are looking up to you. There are people who are admiring you, Richard. So sometimes you might be having an insecurity and you are like, you know, but imagine someone is admiring you in that position. They are like, how will I be like Richard? You are a mentor to people out there. You see?
Great to hear. Please send me messages, my mentees.
Yes, you are a mentor to people out there. So what I do, I always tell ladies, sometimes you might be having an insecurity, and even the gents, but you forget somebody somewhere, probably even back at home, in your school.
This is the right person to follow.
Yes, you know, for example, for me, I keep on telling people I have a Kikuyu accent, but surprisingly, people in my class always tell me, oh, you know, I always admire how you are courageous, you don't fear, and all that, and that keeps me going. Again, I also came to accept that we are human beings, and we cannot be perfect. We have imperfections, and we have to agree.
Accept our flaws, and then, you know, have the courage to move on and speak and present yourself in front of people. Because eventually, now I have a job. Imagine if I didn't, you know, if I didn't get over my insecurity. Say bado ningekuwa nimejificha huko sijui wapi huko Kisii na sina kitu ya kufanya. So
na unajua pia hiyo ina happen. I know most young people unajipata unaona opportunity pahali, so you see that opportunity and you are like, no, this one is not for me, this one is meant for sijui people who went to Alliance, people who are sijui in Strathmore and all that. You start limiting yourself from the word go, but it's a youth opportunity, so, and you are a youth, so you are also one of them. Go for that opportunity.
Go for it. Actually, just you don't disqualify yourself before you're disqualified. Whether you soma Kirinyaga high na opportunity ni ya watu Alliance, watu wewe jitose pale ndani. You must have really good relationships then, because they say, even in my last breakup, communication ilikuwa
ngumu.
Communication ilikuwa shida. Communicate. Parents, you know, sometimes kids find themselves in problems with parents because they didn't communicate things, and the parents assumed something, and then, you know, bred problems na vitu mingi sana. You must, first to begin with, you must have good relationships. I want you to answer that bit. I can see your mom online, which already solves half or answers half of that question. And yes, how does this contribute to, is this really like that a greater deal for cementing relationships, whether friendly or, you know, romantic?
I would say that first, I love communicating. So if something is not okay with me, I'll tell you. Even my mom knows. I will tell her, you know, even if she was unfair to me, I'll tell her, you know, Mom, you did this and this to me. You know, but I feel that we should have done this better, you see. So what happens, I don't know kama ni bahati mbaya ama ni nini, in most cases when you are a competent communicator, sometimes you hook up with somebody who is an introvert. Exact opposite of you.
Right.
So sometimes you might misunderstand. Sometimes for them, they are not used to communicating the whole day. Like you are saying in your relationship, they used to say, oh, you're not communicating.
Ni pole, it has changed, Rudy.
You see,
yes.
I feel for effective relationships, if you are genuine, you know, sometimes I always call for people to be genuine in their intentions. At least have some intention when doing something. Don't go there because you want to benefit or something. If something is not right,
say it.
Share and tell them, make them believe that I'm genuine. If something is not right at home, communicate with your parents, your siblings and all that. The same case to your partner, and even in friendships. If you feel that, no, you're not taking me in the right direction, yes, you are my friend, but I feel we are not going the right direction. Exactly, you should
to communicate. And those people who ghost, what message do you have for them?
I feel that they don't do the right thing. I mean, why should you ghost somebody? You better communicate.
Right.
And sometimes you find that you ghost somebody and then you lose a very important person. Probably somebody would have helped you somewhere. Somebody would have helped you even in your personal growth or something. Or even in connecting you to job opportunities. So it is important to communicate.
Yes, and sometimes when you're ghosting someone, it's based on assumption. So maybe when you have that communication, you will be able to realize, oh, kumbe, it was just a misunderstanding that was happening somewhere here. Right, so relationships at work as well, I'm sure that is going to be very good for anyone who wants to fix something with their boss. Maybe create some time, you have a difference, communicate your side of feelings, you know, and be authentic when you're at it, rather than having another hidden, you know, agenda. Success stories from Toastmasters for people who have improved significantly, things that you can mention. Yes.
Okay, so in Kenya, I would say I would talk of people who are outside the country, especially in US. I think there are a number, I can't mention all of them, but when you go to, we have a website, the Toastmasters International. In fact, I was looking at it in the morning, and there were so many. And even closer home, I was looking at Morara and I'm like, hey, did this person attend Toastmasters? Or I think he should tell me one day.
You know, the notes in our car.
Yes. In fact, he has mastered the art of communication so well. You see, he dresses like he dresses like the president himself. So that alone catches the attention of people. You see, and I think closer home we have people. They maybe. They are not in Toastmasters. We have the likes of PLO Lumumba, very competent communicators. You know, far away from home, we have Barack Obama. And you see how their speech, you know, influenced change. In fact, there's a speech that Barack Obama, that was done on, I think, around 2008 or something. And even to date. So that speech sometimes is used for reference or something. So I would say that success stories are there. Even if Toastmasters, by the way, is not only in universities. Recently, I was in a class, you know, I'm also a politician.
We're going to get into that bit, Sana.
Yes.
Nice.
So some of my friends, you know, sometimes when you're in a field, you also get friends in the same field. And they told me, Consolata, please come and campaign in my class and all that. Our lecturer said that she's also a member of Juja Toastmasters. Hey, so that prompted me to go there. I want to see who is this person. And so when I went there, I introduced myself and she told me she's also a member. And she told me, please convince this class to join Toastmasters. And imagine, it is in the School of Architecture. And in the School of Architecture Engineering, we have more of introverts than extroverts. I know they can confirm. They don't like social settings. And those are some of the examples of success stories. We also have Ruaka, Toastmasters. We also, there are so many outside, even outside schools. So I would advise people out there, even if you're not in a school setting, please join Toastmasters, because you know, even when you go to a job interview, as much as you have the papers, but you cannot express yourself. Even you put yourself in such a position, you are the boss, and I cannot express myself. But I have the skills. Will you give me the job?
Not at all.
Exactly.
I can actually attest from some of the interviews I've attended myself, for job interviews. I can confidently say that half of what got me into the room is the confidence and just expressing myself very well. And this can put you at an advantage over so many people, because the one thing that people are looking for when they hire is a personality before they come to the qualification. Is this a personality of someone that I can work with, communicate with, argue issues with? Because at some point, your qualifications might not be what is needed. Mtakuwa na hiccup kazini, you want to chomoa your KCSE certificate. Nimekuja late lakini angalia.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll have to communicate why there's a hiccup here and how do we solve this kind of challenge that we have.
Yes.
Right. I like how far we've gone in.
And in fact, I always encourage those in the School of Engineering. You know, that is a technical course. And at some point, you'll be required to talk to a non-technical audience. So how do you drive your points home? Remember, you're talking to a mama mboga who probably never even went past class 8. But you're not going to use those technical jargons to them. You have to master the language.
Right.
You know how to convince them to buy in the idea. So this is a club that I would advise all of you to join, honestly.
Right. So if you're not in a university setting, how do you find the Toastmasters Club?
Okay, I have seen that they have their social media websites.
Okay.
They have their socials, like in Ruaka. They are there in Facebook. If you just search Toastmasters Club,
you'll be able to find the one
you'll be able
closest.
to find them. Yeah. And their details as well.
Is it something I can start? Can I start the Toastmasters Club of Kisii?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Because in KU, actually, the current president, Emmanuel Nyayo, his brother was a president of Toastmasters in JKUAT. But the JKUAT is very much ahead of us. I was there last time.
In Toastmasters?
Yeah, in Toastmasters. I think in 2017? Oh, we have to mention that.
Very clear, because Kenyatta University is the
It's
trophy.
now the world. I
Best
know.
university, yes. So in JKUAT they have a better, or they have a more established
Exactly.
club.
I understand that they are started, was it in 2015 or something? So they are very much ahead of us.
Okay.
And so the brother contacted now I don't know the name, I can't remember, I can't recall the name, but he contacted Noel and told him, I think in KU we don't have a club. Would you mind if we started? Yeah, and they did that.
Okay.
And now we have our patron, she's Dr. Mbidi. She's a very wonderful speaker. In fact, I think she's heading to her 60s, but she talks like a 20-year-old.
Oh, nice.
You should hear her.
I hope to have her here on the show. Please extend our invite to her when you get back to meeting her. We'd love to have her here and have further discussions, especially on that level where she's at, to also tell our employers to have good communication skills as well. Isikwe tu ni sisi upwards only, and also to our parents. Pia wakwe na communication skills nzuri kuja kwetu. Sawa, Mama Consolata. All right, so I have a friend of mine called Brian Mutua. Brian Mutua used to be here as well at KUTV. Siku hizi yako mambo ya crypto huko nje. When you go to his social media account, even now, he speaks very well. Like if you've not met him before, you'd think it's Morara Kebaso. Like if you read his threads, his posts, his tweets, how he responds, he's always on time. He knows what's trending. He knows how to curate a tweet to fit the trending topics. Like he's so good. But if you meet him in person, though, he's a complete opposite of what he is online. He's very introverted, very calm, doesn't have much to say. You could actually be seated across him, and his tweets are making noise online. Lakini hapa mali amekaa amenyamaza tu. No way, nionyeshe kama ni wewe. Ebu nione no way ni wewe. So how's that like? Is it okay for him to just, because he feels maybe comfortable on written communication? He's an effective communicator on the written bit of it. Is it transferable? First, is it okay for him to just be like that and be comfortable? And if not, is it transferable such that he can also be the same person that you know, is very effective in communicating online?
Okay, I feel a lot of people are keyboard warriors nowadays. In fact, if you meet that, they will insult you online, but when you meet in person, they cannot even utter an insult to you. In fact, they fear you. So I would advise your friend, you know, one day so many people are reading your tweets or something, and probably you'll be invited, you know, maybe to talk about crypto. So now public speaking skills come to place. You have seen when Morara started championing, I keep on referring to Morara because he has
He's
really
a very good example.
he's an effective communicator. So you saw when he started posting the videos online, so many radio stations and TV stations started calling him for interviews. So you see, whether you like it or not, you have to learn that. And I'll tell you, a friend, if you are an introvert, you can even stand before a mirror and you start talking to the mirror or something, or if you have a sibling. For example, I have 2 sisters, and one of my sisters is Jaylene. She's turning 10 on 26th October. And sometimes I tell her to sit there, and then I stand, and then I talk. I assume she's there. You know, sometimes I mimic the, you know, the politicians or something, and I assume I am sending my manifesto to her.
To a 10-year-old.
Yeah, to a 10-year-old. She sits there, and then I pretend I am the women representative, you know, the aspirant. And then I talk, and all that, you know, at least have a friend you feel comfortable with. Probably he is comfortable talking to you. You can start having those roles. For example, if you feel that you are not so effective talking to people, you can tell him, sit there and then observe how I am doing it, and then correct me. You see, now my small sister, definitely she will tell me, I think here you should improve, even if she's not so effective in that, but of course she will utter.
Shout.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah.
I remember also, you know, back then when I had jitters coming on there, this is part of the places you need to have like really good public speaking skills before you can do a show. I used to do my intros, the part that I start this show with, in front of a mirror, every Monday night. Like every single Monday night I will stand before the mirror and just imagine myself in front of this camera. It took some time because you can get here and then forget
the lines,
but at least you've, you know, moved a step forward. You have sort of confidence. By the time you try it 5-6 times later, I don't remember the last time I stood in front of a mirror to practice a show, because now it's become a part of, you know, my being. So Brian, crypto, when it comes to you speaking to people about crypto, utaitwa mahali conference ya 1,000 people, and you need to explain what you do, and that could be an opportunity you don't want to lose. So tupatane mahali unitumie kama you know, dummy. Now as we wrap up, I'm told part of being a good at the art of communication is keeping time. So my producer keeps reminding me that we've been here for a while, and we need to wind it up. But at this point, let's speak a bit about your leadership aspirations. You're from Laikipia, right?
Yeah.
First, do you know of Lewis Ngunyi, who's also trying to be into leadership in that?
Yes, I have heard of him. I think I'm in a group called Gen Z, Laikipia County. And if I'm not wrong, I have seen his post or something.
Definitely. It's been very loud there. Not good for the DCI.
I think you should connect me to him.
Definitely, I will send this clip to him. Lewis, this is your chance to meet the next women rep. He used to be the Mr. Tourism of Laikipia County, I think 3 years back. So your journey to leadership, did it begin when you knew you're good at communication? Did it begin at Toastmasters, high school, as you said, you refused to become the president. So when did you realize, okay, nilikata president lakini watu wa Laikipia mningoje, ama watu wa Kenya
waningoje, hata watu wa Kenya. I believe I'll be there someday.
Kabisa, I love to hear that. So when did that come in, and you can let us know of your aspirations and how they look like?
Okay, let me say that I believe I was born a leader. So when I went to nursery, I'm the firstborn. And being the firstborn, definitely, I am a leader. So when my mom is not at home, when my dad is not at home, I am in control, you see. And I remember when I joined nursery school, I was so young, but then I was so short. You know,
Tiny.
I was tiny. But I remember the first day in nursery school, I was elected as the prefect. The very first day.
Everywhere you go, the first time you arrive, they want you to become a leader.
Exactly. The very first time. The same case to Toastmasters. When Nyayo saw me, he told me, you should be my vice president.
Nice.
So, and I remember I used to be very talkative. I'm very talkative. And when I see something wrong somewhere, I'm quick to say, this is wrong. I don't fear airing my opinions or something. So, in fact, even my teachers, my primary school teachers, they recognize something in me. And now going to class 1 and up to class 8, I don't remember a day that I was not a prefect, by the way. Oh, I think it's only in class 4, only for one term, that I was not a prefect. And then when I got to class 8, I was elected as the deputy president. And I remember we used to have elections where you stand there, and then if people are supporting you, they rally behind you. They stand behind. Ile ya moi. Kwa hivyo watu wanasimama nyuma.
So you can see like you.
Yes, you can literally see these people are for you or they are not for you. Wow. You see? And sometimes being a leader, I would say it's very tricky because be prepared to be criticized. Yeah. Remember, not everyone is happy because of what you are doing. And also, again, being a leader, you have to be very straight. Even if your friend is on the wrong, you have to be quick to tell them, you are not.
This is not right.
This is not right.
But you're still my friend.
Exactly. You're still my friend, but this is not right. So now I was elected, and so many people rallied behind me. And even the teachers were like, yes, we want you. You see? So I think, and I remember when I got to class 7, in class 3, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. So my mom came with she's an avid reader as well. So she introduced me to the world of, reading and all that. She always has a book she's reading. And by the way, right now I'm reading a book by Wangari Maathai.
What's it called?
Unboard.
Yeah. Unboard.
Unboard by Wangari Maathai. I would advise any lady who is aspiring to be in leadership, please read that book. It's a very good book.
Nice.
So now I told my mom, when you're a child, you're not so sure of what you want. So you just say, oh, I want to be a policeman because you admire them holding the guns or something. You're not even sure. You have no reason at all. So in class 7, as you grow, you get to know yourself better. I remember telling my mom one evening that, Mom, I want to be a lawyer. And then she asked me, why? Because I've realized I talk too much. I want to be, I think, law.
So I can talk.
Yes, so I can talk. And my mom told me, okay, if that is what you want, it's okay. So now when I went to high school, I had this fear, sometimes you have narratives getting into new spaces, narratives or fake narratives or something. Like in politics, often women leaders are portrayed negatively, something that would really discourage people. And I saw that Senator Gloria Orwoba, yesterday, I follow her on LinkedIn, and she's doing a good job. She was campaigning against bullying women politicians online. And sometimes you wonder why they attack the sexuality part of it, and why men are not attacked, you see? So I really appreciate her for doing that. So now I got into high school, and I had so many fears. As I told you, I had self-esteem issues or something. And then I was somehow escaping leadership positions. But somehow, somewhere along the line, I was elected as the vice chairperson. I don't know even how, of the CA community, Catholic Action. And you can imagine in Form 2, and they were suggesting I should be the chairperson. Right. So, but again, even in group discussions, I would always see I am the leader. Sijui, I am the peer teacher in English and all that. Yani, leadership inakutafuta tu. So now, that is when now in Form 3, I decided I want to be a teacher. I want to be an English teacher because I used to admire my English teacher so much. So I decided I want to do that. So now when I went to university, when I joined now, I said I'm going to pursue this to the end. Because you find most politicians in university, they are the ones you find outside, by the way. When you get
this is where it begins.
Yes.
And you are in a campaigning period in Kenyatta University, right?
Yes. In fact, even today I'll be attending a launch of one team. And I love politics.
Are you vying for position this time?
Okay, I'm not vying for one,
Okay.
but last time I did as the Congress person of Nyayo 6, but the votes were not enough. You know, you don't concede to defeat. You
Yes,
say they were not enough.
We'll count them next time.
We'll count them next time.
Okay.
So they were not enough, and but really what has inspired me to vie for the position in 2027 as the women representative, people have this false narrative about Laikipia, that Laikipia is a banditry zone, and I'm like, do you know, I've never seen, you know, okay, there are some areas, but
it's not as rampant as
it's not rampant. In fact, Laikipia is one of the places that you can thrive so well in Kenya if you take advantage. There's land is there in plenty, and then we also have this climate that is not so cool and not so hot.
Right, Mount Kenya to the wind.
Exactly. And every time I would go to new places and people would be like, hey, uko kwenu kuna wakora. Ndio huwa
Naibiana mang'ombe
sijui nini, and I'm like, how now? So I have to change that narrative and also put Laikipia on the map. That is what I have for Laikipia. And I also want to drive positive change to the youth, to those small kids there, to those small girls, to the women and men there.
Right.
Yes.
Women representative aspirant, Laikipia County 2027. That's Consolata for you. Remember that name. Kifika your time, usijifanya unamjua na mjui sahi. Make sure that you know of her right now. Let me read one feedback or two and then give you a chance for a closing remark, which will involve how Kenyatta University students, or let me rephrase that, how the students of the top university
in Kenya, in the world,
Kenya, in global ranking, can join Toastmasters as well. Alafu pia, I wanted to put you on a drill. You deliver an impromptu speech for a minute or so. I don't know if that's something you're up to.
Yes,
I'm hoping my producers can give us just that 1 minute extra. Thank you. He's allowed us to do that. Let me read that feedback quick. Rachel Wambui Gitonga, ambaye ni mom anatuwatch, anasema the first fruit of my womb, you are gonna go far.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Mothers out there, you see what other mothers are doing to their first womb fruits. Send message to your child today, please. Samuel Chalo, such an adorable thing, Consolata. Samuel Chalo, unamtambua? Ameweka love emoji kwa mbele. So shout out to Samuel Chalo. Ojuang Mariam, who's a colleague of mine here, and he's going to show up in a short while, helping me to discuss the newspapers. He's saying, this girl is Karen Blessing in a different body. Karen Blessing used to be the host, part of a team here at KUTV. So he says, anafunga macho, anakusikiza, anasikia your host.
Wow.
She was very good at communication as well. So I think that's a great compliment. And he's seeing his daughter. He has a daughter, firstborn. Anasema akikuona, I feel like I'm seeing my little Melissa akiwa first year in university.
Wow.
So you're already a mentor, as you were saying, you know.
Thank you so much.
Naweza kuwa kuna vitu zako insecurities na kuna mtu uko nje anasema, I want my daughter to be like her.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John, for that comment. Closing remark, which involves inviting people to Toastmasters KU. I'll have to begin to speech. 1 minute, and then you can also know where social media handles are at for people who want to follow you outside of here.
Okay. Thank you so much. As I said, I'm Consolata Wairimu Awero, and I'm in 4th year pursuing a bachelor's degree of education. My subject combination is English and literature, and I'm the vice president of KU Toastmasters Club, and I would like to invite you all. You know, you learn skills, you learn crypto, you know, we have these online courses, and public speaking is a skill that you can learn as well, and you can be good at it if you want to. So I call you, all of you, to join Toastmasters. We have weekly meetings at EF9. So EF9 is next to Science Zone, SZ39. We have weekly meetings from 6:30 to 8. That is on Thursday, and I'll be so happy to see you and to receive you. I don't know whether I should give my number so that they text me on WhatsApp. So my number is 0703 404 703 0703 404 703. That is if you want to connect and talk to me on WhatsApp. I'll be so happy to receive you so that we begin and we start this journey together. I would also love to learn something from you as well. Yes.
All
yes,
right.
yes.
This is a time for an impromptu speech from the Vice President of the Toastmasters Club. I don't know what it will be about. Have fun. Yes.
Thank you so much. My impromptu speech will be, I would like to call the youth to wake up. Okay, so this is a call to all the youths in Kenya. And being a youth also, I have seen this narrative. A lot of times we don't believe in ourselves. Sometimes we play the blame game. Oh, the government this, the government that, the parent this, the school system that. But I'd like to say opportunities are there to be grabbed by you who is watching me. So, and these opportunities will be grabbed if you are courageous enough. So I'll call upon you. And also, as youths of this country, let us stop this disease of corruption, you know, and even defending corruption. So it starts with me. It does not start as a group, but it starts as an individual, and then it goes on and on. So I call upon you, and believe you me, your dreams are valid. Anything you want in this world is achievable, as long as you have the will to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to Consolata, Vice President Toastmasters, Kenyatta University, provided her number, how to contact her. This interview will also be later on available on YouTube, so if you missed it, this is a chance for you to wait on it, and then it's like a masterclass for you in terms of art of communication and public speaking. You mentioned of your current read, which is
Unboard by Wangari Maathai.
Right, a memoir, right?
Yeah.
Wangari Maathai. So let me close this part by also mentioning that my current read is actually in finance. So for people who are into business and into economics, my current read is Other People's Money. The Real Business of Finance by John Kay. Other People's Money speaks of how the money that you have, the money that you seek to have, is actually other people's money, and therefore find ways in getting that other people's money to become your money. So that's interesting. If you want to, you can check it out and then you know how you found it. Thank you so much for this. I've learned a lot, and I'm hoping that they have. Get time and come through to the Toastmasters Club and see what goes on there.
Yes.
And maybe also continue to sharpen my skills.
Sure.
Asante
I'd
sana.
invite you, please come for a weekly session.
Okay.
Even if it's only once, I'll be so happy to see you there.
Nice.
Thank
Wednesdays,
you so much.
you said, right?
Thursdays. Yes.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll find time and reach out. Let me take this short break and bring back Felix and Ojwang Mariam for the newspaper review section. We're speaking a lot today. There's Senate proceedings happening later on in Gachagwa's impeachment. It's actually starting right now. I'm being informed by my producer. That's already starting. So Gachagua, what's the fate? But pia tunaangalia Adani deals. The second richest man in India is about to own your health, your airport, and what else was that? Electricity as well. How is that going to go? Don't go too far. Biashara Tuesday with the 9 pack.
Welcome to Focus on Health, a show on all matters health, wellness, and lifestyle. I am your host, Joy Bofenda, and on this episode, we discuss what exactly Equity Afya Centers do alongside Business Development Manager Boniface Kagumba.
Is a medical center, is a franchise network of medical practitioners who came together through Equity Foundation. With a mission to offer standardized, quality, and affordable healthcare to all.
The fear of the Lord
is the beginning of wisdom.
The Bible says, when he spoke, then he spoke a parable to them, that men always ought to pray and not lose heart.
Christ says, I stand in the door and I knock. Whoever hears my voice and opens, I will dwell with him.
Like the moon, I will fade, but like the star, I will rise again. And though I fall, be rest assured that I will rise again.
Go to the hospitals, tell them that God will heal them. Go to the prisons, tell them that they'll be free. Go to the crusades and tell people that Christ is coming, and sooner than the word itself, the second advent is imminent.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses, and we wait until we get a disease, and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that could be, that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins, such as folate, have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
Na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwe.
From the hospital corridors, we bring you experts to discuss issues affecting your health, from diet to mental health. The familiar and the ignored are both put into perspective. We then dive into the environment and look at the effects of climate change and its solutions. Join me, Mutegi K. Martin, every Friday at 9 p.m. as we learn on how to better our health while taking care of our environment. Only on KUTV.
Yangu ndiye Yesu Bwana, wote waingie kwake. Lango, 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 hili lango li wazi.
I am right here for your sake. Now, today we are going to talk about the beginning of a fall. But not just a fall, it is a fall never
to recover. If you spend your time sleeping, na tumesema while you are drunk, your senses are sleeping. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. How are you doing today? I'm well in the Lord. I hope you are well in the Lord. First of all, I'd like to thank our Father in heaven. They say broken things can't be fixed, right? But that's a lie. Genesis chapter 3 verses 8. That evening they heard the Lord God walking in the garden, and they hid from him among the trees. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Catch me right here only on KUTV every single Sunday.
This discussion has already begun here, and I am not agreeing with what Joang Mariam has to say about the Senate and what is going to happen today. But we have Kemboi also, who will help me dilute those waters. But to scare the gentlemen, what they have to say. Welcome to the newspaper review section. This is Biashara Tuesday, as always, coming to you from the best university in the country, which means this is the best TV station that you have to watch, which means this is the best show, which means this is the best newspaper review section that you have to watch this morning. We are speaking with Joang Mariam, we are speaking with Kemboi Felix hapa hivi. Kuna headlines na kuna much more to talk of. I have with me the Star, the Business Daily, Joang Mariam and Felix wakona the Standard, na wakona Daily Nation. So they'll handle that end of things, I'll handle this end of things, and we'll also handle them together online. So if you're out there, grab yourself a copy, e-paper, or a physical copy. Bado ni shilingi taslim 60 if I'm not wrong. Ama vipi hapo John? Unasema pesa ngapi hapo?
Saizi wanasema Uganda injapanda bei ni 2700, Tanzania ni 1700, huko gazeti ni bei rahisi, lakini kama uko na hizo pesa zote si ukuje Kenya utumie 60 bob.
Hapana, si same. Tatu huko si same hapa. But
walisema Tanzania Simba, hapa Kenya ni paka.
Sorry?
Yes.
Ati Tanzania si paka?
Hapa Tanzania Simba Diamond akikuja Kenya
anakuwa paka kwa sababu wana convert hiyo conversion rate inampunguza.
Of course.
Business Daily is at 100 shillings, so get yourself one. The Star, the one I have, is free, not for sale. Get yourself a copy at any petrol station, and also matatus, I believe, if you have the People Daily from the beginning. Wacha nisome headlines. Joang Mariam tutasaidia kusoma headlines, and then we'll begin with our first reactions from Kemboi, who has not been around for a while. So I'll do the headlines, or Joang do the headlines. Kemboi atusalimie, alafu atupatie his general feed on the state of the nation, and then we get into the exact details of the papers. The Business Daily. KRA eyes crypto exchange tech link to nail tax cheats. It's funny because earlier on I was speaking of Brian Mutua, who is very active in the crypto scene right now, and he needs to know that KRA is planning to increase taxation or to enforce taxation in cryptocurrency exchanges. Yani ukiwa na Bitcoin pale, unaisukuma ifike M-Pesa ikiwa Kenyan shillings. KRA wants to put something in there in between so that during that transaction exchange they can get some taxation there. Their excuse or their reason is to curb criminal activity, fraud, theft, money laundering and whatnot. Wanasema crypto boys ndio wenye wako kwenye wash sana na wana evade taxes. Mnasema sijui mko forex, sijui mko wapi. Hizo secretive marketing wanataka kuja wazishike na make sure that I'm happy tax. That's the Business Daily. More taxation ahead, which means that crypto is more likely to get expensive if this goes into effect. Hapo chini ya Business Daily, Ketraco to disclose Adani tariffs. in the 95 billion power deals. There's a power deal between a subsidiary of the Adani Group called Adani Energy Solutions Limited, who have entered into a partnership with the Kenya Electricity Transmission Company, KETRACO. This is a private-public partnership which has been valued at 1.3 billion USD, translating to 95 billion Kenyan shillings, and they will be revealing the details of this power sharing deal between them, that Adani Group, and also a small subsidiary of the African Development Bank who are involved in this. So there are three players: KETRACO, Adani, and as well as that subsidiary of the African Development Bank. So this means that Adani need to raise, they're spending 95 billion Kenyan shillings in enforcing our transmission lines and upgrading our power grid. It means they will transfer this to your electricity tariffs. Earlier we were celebrating that fuel prices are going lower and therefore electricity prices should go lower. However, that's not going to happen because Adani need to make their money. So not looking good for households in the future. And this will run for a couple of years, something we are going to discuss here. As Adani actually is someone, it's not just a company, it's the second richest man in India who is likely to own your power grid, your health system, and also your airport. How about that? The Star, big test for Ruto as Central resists Gachagua ouster. Mount Kenya rebelling against UDA engineered impeachment. We have the face of the two men here, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and President William Ruto, and it says a big test for Ruto. Will he lose the support base he has in Mount Kenya in favor of impeaching DP Gachagua, or will he save him through Senate and the courts so that he still has the support that he's been receiving from Mount Kenya? John Mariam?
The Daily Nation wanasema impeachment. CJ has named a 3-judge bench to hear main case. Will the courts save Gachagua? Kesi yake bado itakuwa inachukuliwa hadi na mahakama. It's now official. Wanaongezea wanasema charged Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has filed 26 cases in a bid to block the impeachment proceedings against him. And today, he hopes the courts will rule in his favor and stop the Senate trial scheduled for tomorrow and Thursday. Hiyo iko pia on page 4 of the Daily Nation. The Standard wanasema race against time. I see pale hivyo DP Rigathi Gachagua, I see President Ruto, kila mtu akona Rolex yake pale hivyo ina roll. Na wanaongeza wanasema Deputy President is a man under siege, yani he's a man under siege. With each clock chime the nose tightens with options running out. His replacement is imminent even as he stares at a life out of public service. Is he negotiating a way out? Hayo ndo maswali wanauliza kama DP Rigathi Gachagua anajaribu kutafuta njia ya kutoka na atoke with human dignity. Na kama saizi hana. Are the courts going to put asunder what the politicians have crafted? It's the main questions the editors are asking when the case will be heard concerning the impeachment of DP Rigathi Gachagua. And lastly, bado wanasema who will take the hot seat if Rigathi Gachagua packs his bag? That is in page 8 and 9. Big tena zaidi. Good morning fellow Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ojwang Mariam. I am glad to be here.
Glad to have you here. Bwana Kemboi.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for welcoming me for today's show, newspaper review. Nashukuru sana.
Right.
Naona mambo imekuwa moto kabisa. Mambo inazidi kuwa moto.
Yes.
Na nikiangalia vile mambo iko kama nchi tunapoteza mwelekeo. Mambo zinazidi kuharibika. Na sisi kama vijana aswa tunachanganyikiwa, tunashangaa tutafanya nini. Na mahali shida ilitokea ni wakati wa kampeni. Wakati rais na naibu wake walikuwa wanatembea nchi mzima wakizunguka wakiambia watu tunapiga kitu inaitwa 6 piece ama suti. Hapo ndo shida aswa ilitokea. Kwa sababu ukiangalia wabunge wengi ambao walichaguliwa kwa UDA ni wale ambao wako kwenye bunge wanapiga tu vile rais anasema. Kama tungekuwa na wabunge ambao wamechaguliwa na chama mbalimbali ama wamechaguliwa kuwa independent, wangekuwa wakifanya their own decisions using their own independent mind without being necessarily being influenced by State House. Ukiangalia ule mbunge wa Marakwet West anaitwa Tim, huyo ni the only MP kutoka Rift Valley alipiga no, and that's how we need to drive this country. I think that's the right way. If you see the rest of the MPs who are elected on UDA, they were just voting yes, 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 and you see the situation now.
Right.
The country is completely out of order.
The rubber stamping what the president has to say.
Yeah.
Ojwang Mariam is of the opinion that the Senate is likely to save DP Gachagua, given the fears that the members of parliament have now had since they voted yes for the impeachment. The likes of Kimani Ichung'wah, who is the member of parliament of Kikuyu constituency, has been facing hostile grounds wherever he goes. Here on page 4 and 5 of the Star, it says, big test for Ruto as Mount Kenya resists Gachagua removal. Let me actually read the first 2 paragraphs, which was very interesting in the way Julius Otieno from the Star has introduced it, saying that President William Ruto's political prowess is set to be tested amid a growing rebellion by the angry Mount Kenya following the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Ruto roused the region and offended ethnic sensibilities after engineering the removal of his deputy, who aspired to be the region's supremo. He was no longer useful and had become a liability. Kenyan politics 101. We know what happens next. Do you feel like the Senate will save DP Gachagua and that they might not rubber stamp? Because I'm disagreeing with Ojwang Mariam by saying that it doesn't matter whether someone has felt the fear. We saw the same thing during the finance bill, where even after President William Ruto rejected it and sent it back to Parliament for deletion of clauses, MPs still said that hata ikirudi saa hizi bado tutapiga yes. Hawana woga even after the events of the the Occupy Parliament in 25th of June. But Ojwang feels like today later, Senate watakuwa like, kumekuwa na hostile grounds, let's save this guy and not understand DP Gachagua's removal.
Okay, when any other bill comes from State House, I feel that in this Ruto's government, any bill that comes from State House it's like a done deal. Those senators are being bribed like nonsense. You saw one of the MPs told us that each MP was bribed by 500,000. Now, senators are only, I think, 62 when you add the nominated ones. That one is something very simple to State House. And what saddens me is that even those nominated senators, nominated MPs, do not listen to the people. Even those MPs who are elected on the basis of people living with disabilities are voting according to what comes from State House. Those elected on the basis of minority and marginalized groups, they cannot even listen to their people, the marginalized ones. Their people at the grassroots level. They cannot listen. They have already forgotten where they came from. And people are suffering. People are really suffering. This government now, we are experiencing bad governance. Too much promises that the president has failed to fulfill. No accountability. And I wonder where we are heading to.
Right. Ojwang, the Senate. Why do you think, why would you even think that Senator Lidama and Senator, Edwin Sifuna and the rest of them all, Cheriot, Amason Kingi, why do you think they can go against Ruto?
I feel misunderstood. I feel like you misunderstood.
Apologies.
And I would like to correct that.
Okay.
Maybe I gave less information, or I gave you more information
than I needed.
Than you needed. But the point is this. The Senate of Kenya will be debating on a motion, the first big motion after the broad-based government has been formed. So there is no Senate here, there is no senator here except people like Karongo Adhamo, who is a DP Gachagua senator. You are either an ODM senator or a UDA senator or something like that. So party politics are still playing. But our Senate has proved time and again that it is a respected house. People who have been deemed useless after 2022, before 2022, were senators and were doing great job. I will give you 2 examples. The current Nakuru governor, Susan Kihika, and the former roads and transport CS, the current youth and sports CS, Kipchumba Murkomen, when they were in the Senate, did a very great job and a splendid job. We've seen governors who have been brought to Senate for impeachment motions and all that. And Senate gives their views without emotions. They look at facts and all that, and they say, yes, this impeachment that was done by the county assembly is okay, or it's not okay. The former governor of Meru, who is now in court still fighting her battles, had been saved more than twice by the same Senate. Yesterday, we saw the current governor of Kericho, Eric Mutai, being saved on what Odi wa Murang'a would call useless. Mwalimu wa maths. Mwalimu wa maths has finally done something positive in this country. Yes. The 2/3 ya pale Kericho should be 31.3 because there are 47 MCAs in Kericho County. So when it is that 1.3, where does the 0.3 go to? Is it on the side of minus or the side of plus? That crucial math saved someone.
Yes, saved the governor.
It was not about emotions, it was about that. Look at the facts and the 11 charges against DP Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes.
Can I tell you something and don't tell anyone out there?
I won't even mention it outside this show.
Please don't say I said this.
Okay.
He is guilty of each and every count. If the Senate will impeach him, it will be on that. They will not debate with emotions. They will not come tell us oh, this guy does not respect women. Juu alikuja kwa dawari yangu akanilipia akaenda akatangaza. Those are emotions.
Yeah.
But they will say he has violated this part of constitution because of this and this and this. Which hata wewe kama umesoma the 11 charges, he is guilty of them all.
Okay.
And all of them are guilty of the same charges.
That's the crucial
part. If we
part.
could do an audit of all these public servants at the moment,
that's the crucial part.
They are more dirty than a dark linen.
Right. Including the boss who here actually
I don't want to talk about
the boss.
But whenever you cut the neck,
the head is written.
There is no body.
Yeah.
So unasikia wakisema kufa dereva kufa makanga, and they took someone to court because of that. Ati amesema kufa dereva kufa makanga kwa public participation ya DP Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes.
It's the same thing that will happen. But I'm calling upon the Senate. Wasieke emotions. Isn't Senate wa respect your place. Unajua parliament hatuna. Parliament ilishachomwa on June 25th. Kama nyinyi bado mna expect parliament iwasaidie.
How parliament will exist?
It's like a Kenyan youth believing in promises made by the president in 2022 and continuing to believe each and every time. Ushaiambiwa na dem pole leo, pole kesho, pole on the same thing. Ruto does that and makes promises. You as a youth, you're supposed to be asking yourself, what can I do for my country?
Right.
Not what the country will do for you.
Right.
I got so sad yesterday learning that the MPs are worried of the increased and the rising numbers of school dropouts in the country. Jesus Christ.
Kimboy,
yes.
The courts, don't you feel, well, from where I sit at, the best shot at this for DP Gachagua? He already has 26 cases, opposing this impeachment trial that is going on. There's a danger, though, which means that if he's actually impeached before he resigns, he loses the privileges that come with former office holders. Once you're impeached, hizo package unapewa for a lifetime, hizo vitu zote, mapesa, security, hizo haziko. Probably at a reduced figure, but not as much as if he resigns before all this happens. But I feel he has his eyes in the courts. 26 cases which have been consolidated. Martha Koome having a look at that with a 3-judge bench. Is there hope for him if he was sitting in his table right now giving him advice? Would you point out to some glimmer of hope in the courts?
Okay. First, I neither support the impeachment of Gachagua or not support.
Yeah.
Because if you see the basis on the of the impeachment, it's something that has been engineered. If you see the allegations of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua, is almost the same allegations that William Ruto has in terms of the things to do with corruption, bad governance. They're just the same people. So me, I can say, as the citizens, we actually know nothing.
Okay.
I'm very sure those people are not concerned with the local mwananchis. It's just their own small issues around them. So what I say, and this is my opinion.
Okay.
My opinion is that William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua were elected on the same ticket.
Yeah.
With on each and every voter ticked one place, whereby it was William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, and they were elected by wananchis, not MPs. And this 3-bench that Martha Koome has formed, the best ruling, which is going to be fair in the entire country, because Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto are elected at the polling station. It is the people who should decide whether Rigathi Gachagua will go or not.
Right.
Therefore, the 3-bench judge, so that justice can be served equally, let's go back to the polling station and decide whether Gachagua is going to go home
alone
or remain in government. That's the best option. And I participated in the public participation.
Was it fair?
It was fair because I heard what the normal wananchis were saying. But the public participation itself, it was actually again engineered, because those people, the person who was given that paper to write his opinion, you are given a paper and 2,000 Kenyan shillings. So you expect that person is just going to support government automatically.
Yeah.
But if you heard what people were saying before giving that paper, people actually are not supporting it, because they were saying kufa dereva, kufa makanga. These people are just the same. We don't know what made them to go, everyone to go to his side. So that is my opinion.
Most fair. That will be the most fair.
Be the most fair. Let's go back to the wananchi at the polling station.
Right.
Yeah.
Ojwang, will you be ready for that? The courts, Martha Koome atutosie back asema, for once, you guys have fun with this. Shikeni waiweke on a Tuesday. Is that the most fair way? So that also it eliminates this thing that we've been running away from. Every other time we come here on Tuesday, it's Gachagua and Ruto. We know it's a distraction.
There is no race against time, by the way, as the Standard are saying, because this thing can be dragged all the way up to 2027 through the courts, through the same people. How sure are you that it is not another ploy of diverting the attention of a done deal by the government and a done deal? The deals that are coming up every time, how sure are you this is not a distraction? How sure are you
that,
there's something that people keep forgetting, that President Ruto did not appoint Rigathi as a DP. He cannot say that. He is not supposed to be appointed. Yule ambaye atakuja after Rigathi, huyo ndio ameappointiwa.
Huyo ndio puppet.
Otherwise, hata Martha Karua anafaa kuwa nini?
Deputy President.
But she is not. So it doesn't matter chenye mliongea before muingie kwa debe.
Mlipatana na wananchi kwa debe.
Mlifika kwa debe pamoja. Si ndio? Kuna vitu watu wanalia wanasema, ati haiwezekani, vile yeye anasema, haiwezekani nichaguliwe na watu 7.2 million na nitolewe na wabunge. Hii inaonyeshana even our DP hasomi constitution. That is what should happen. Nyinyi mlikuja mnaambia wa Kenya sisi tunataka mchague kama huyu. Our represent the cultural example 45,000 voters mkuwe represented kwa bunge na mtu mmoja. Umeshika?
Yes.
So time tunataka kukutoa, kwanza tutaanza na huyu mtu mmoja wa kwetu na mtu mmoja wa kwao na huyo mwingine wakutoe wakuwa wameongea on our behalf. The problem is that our current that our current parliament does not respect us as voters. They do not represent us as voters. I had Kemboi talk of independent candidates who later on joined the government and become MPs. You know, you are in government. Hakuna mtu ati kitu inaitwa opposition. Opposition aje na unaenda kwa bunge. You are in government on the opposition's side.
Yes.
But you still government. Hakuna sisi hatuko kwa government na hii serikali.
Na wewe uko kwa serikali.
Wote wako hapo hivyo. So because of all these factors, itakuwa ngumu kumtoa Rigathi. Na kama atatoka on hiyo, haizi kubali aende. Na unajua ukitoka ukiimpeachiwa, you cannot even go back to the voters and tell them nataka kiti fulani. Hata ile ndogo ya kuwa chairman wa Cattle Dip, you are not fit to hold any public office. Hakujai kuwa na mtu mwingine kama huyo hii country.
This will be the first.
Haizi kubali.
Hawezi kubali.
Hawezi kubali.
For sure.
26 cases atangangana nazo. Hadi mjipate kwa debe tena.
Kweli. So read for yourself on the Star page 4 and 5. Sijui hapo hiyo story Gachagua iko pages gani, tuambie watu alafu tusonge to
iko page 6 and 9 of the Standard.
Okay.
Alafu pia Daily Nation wameweka ikiwa headline na bado wanakuambia ukiingia ukurasa wa 4 wa Daily Nation you'll get to read all about how the courts save Gachagua. It's a question they are putting out there.
Right. Let's do some positivity before to get kwa ndani. Sitaki watu wachemke sana. Inflation imeshuka. Sijui kama unaifeel ni kitu when I was introducing it earlier.
Inflation kushuka. Kemboi, sijui kama umesikia inflation kushuka. Kama kuna maisha ambayo yamepanda gharama, ni maisha ya kutoka wakati tuliambiwa dola imeshuka. Dola ikipanda hata ipande na 10 bob. Everyone feels
it. Unasikia hit.
Wanasema jana mafuta yalianguka
na shilingi
8. Si feel.
Kwingine as big as 10 shillings.
Transport iko pale, ingia kununua mafuta yako pale, unga wa ugali ndo umeshuka na ni juu watu washajua kujiingizia mahindi yao watu wanakula 120. Imeshuka sana but
hata unga ilishuka ba. Ruto anatenda.
Kemboi ati watu wameinject 1.4 billion. Tuna feel huku chini.
Sijasikia hiyo injection.
Labda Kemboi amefeel.
Umefeel hiyo injection? Things are working. Unga imeshuka, inflation iko chini, mafuta Ruto atawali jameni.
You know, I did around I think 4 units on business while in campus. And what determines the price of a product, the main factor is always the demand and supply.
Yeah.
Government policy is normally a factor but a minor. So hii mambo ya kuweka siasa, kuleta unga na kuunganisha na siasa, kuunganisha mafuta na siasa, it's not logic. Ni vile tu wananchi saa zingine tumechanganywa na wanasiasa kiplani mpaka tuelewe, lakini ukirudi back to facts, the things that determine the price of a product is demand and supply.
Right.
Government policy pia iko hapo. Ukiangalia mafuta hapa imeshuka na shilingi 8. Probably ile ni venye demand na supply inacheza.
Yani global.
Na ni global.
Yes.
So demand supply ya mafuta ikishuka mafuta ikiwa kidogo, automatically price
itapanda juu, demand iko juu.
Ile Skuro alikuwa analia, I think sijui ilikuwa event gani pale.
Alikuwa analia na
pesa Ruto akamwambia mimi sina mafuta sijui. Hiyo ni kwa sababu mafuta haikuwa.
Yes.
Angalia pia venye Ruto aliingia, mafuta ilibaki tu hapo kwa sababu
those are market factors and unrelated to him. Yeah. Also, the reason people are not feeling it is because, as you're saying, supply and demand depends on this purchasing power. Ukiniambia inflation imeshuka hadi 3.6% na sina kakitu bado, bado hainisaidii. I cannot feel it. Bado ninahitaji kulipa 80 shillings kwa fare, na nahitaji kulipa this amount of power, na bado sina uwezo wa kulipa. Shilingi ime reduce though. Bado how we feel Ojwang?
Inflation
128 shillings to $1.
Ndio ni feel hivyo. Mama mboga pale chini na mtu wa bodaboda mwenye amezoea kushika 50 bobs anafaa akishika 1000 ina do more. Mama mboga anafaa akiingia Marikiti aingie Githurai 45 kutafuta zile nyanya zake ndogo apeleke kwake mashinani. Akiwa na 1000 anafaa kutoka huko na more stock.
Which means you get more for less.
As long as anaingia huko na 1000 inatoka huko na vitu za 500.
Hiyo inflation wanaipigia huko kwa
bado tuko karibu Uganda.
True. Page 4 of the Business Daily wanasema the biggest bank in America. Unajua ni gani hiyo wazee wa kwangu? JP Morgan. JP Morgan Chase, niko sure umeiona pale kwenye filamu here and there, maybe documentary, maybe movie, maybe kwa Forbes. America's biggest bank, JP Morgan Chase, has ended a 12-year wait for final approval to open an office in Kenya in the wake of a regulatory hitch that blocked its Nairobi operation and slowed the lender's expansion in Africa. So this you can read for yourself on page 4. I remember a few months back, the Chase Bank, good thing akona Chase mbele, kidogo nasema hapo JP Morgan. JP Morgan Chase Bank CEO Jamie meeting President William Ruto some time back, and this was in February 2023. Walipatana 2023 last year, discuss about operations. They have assets which are about 529 trillion Kenyan shillings. That's how much of an asset base they have, and they have operations in over 100 countries. Maybe a quick one, is this something you guys see as positive, negative? Najaribu kufish for positivity leo.
Hiyo ni positive. Hiyo ni positive. Kulikuwa na Chase Bank, Wakenya wakachase nayo, wakachesiwa na pesa zao ikafungwa. But at least hizi ni JP Morgan. They have a reputation globally, and wakiwa hapa hivi Kenya watasaidia mpaka utu vios. Unajua Pastor Nganga azamaga yake ndio kanisa hizo zingine
ni vios.
Atasaidia kina Equity Moiganania wapunguze mpaka rates za madeni, ndio vijana pale mashinani wakope more. This talking about kukopa more. Hustler Fund nimekuwa nikifanya test nayo ya kujua jinsi ambavyo vijana wanaingia kwa a debt rabbit hole yenye watashindwa kutoka into na kitawaramba wote. Listen to this. Wakenya, and they should be very cautious, wanachukua Hustler Fund, wanakosa kulipa. Wanasema hii pesa ni ya Ruto, tumfinye. Umeshika? Hiyo Hustler Fund inapanda kila siku na 1 bob. So kama wewe ni Mkenya na ulichukua loan 2023, you can saizi upige hesabu zako vizuri, you can know umeaccrue interest inakaa aje. Now, this is the saddest thing. That the government is planning on raiding M-Shwaris, lipa na M-Pesa, hizo paybill, M-Shwari hapana, lipa na M-Pesa, paybill na Safaricom M-Pesa.
Na wanaongeza hii ya crypto.
Na wanaongeza hiyo ya crypto. So, mtu asifikiria ati utachukua Hustler Fund alafu ulipe nayo. Ruto is smart.
Ruto is smart.
That is why aliweka pale hivyo mzee kwa jina Oparanya. Mtu ambaye alikuwa anachukia Hustler Fund zaidi, akamweka hapo hivyo. Hakumweka hapo wacheke. Alimweka hapo hivyo kama Shylock. Endea pesa zangu kwa hao wa Kenya. Kitaturamba. So, badala hiyo yote, Wakenya wanawaambia Mungu asanti. JP Morgan wameleta hii bank. Tuchase nayo. Kama Hustler, usichukue Hustler Fund ati ndio utese mtu. Unajua Kenya 2022 walivote Ruto watese Uhuru. Na Uhuru akawaambia in 3 months time
Right. So JP Morgan is also like a lender for businesses, so business opportunities within East Africa. We're hoping that is going to be improved greatly, and that makes 10, according to the Business Daily, that puts it to 10 lenders who have offices right here in Kenya. So wengine ni kama India's HDFC Bank, India. a lot to speak about India's presence in East Africa. Mauritius Commercial Bank, South Africa's Nedbank, Cooperative Bank of Netherlands, France's Generali, Pakistan's Bank Al Habib, Egypt's Bank Misr, and the Exim Bank of India, now finally JP Morgan, ambao wanakuja kuwekelea with their assets are like 4.1 trillion US dollars. In Kenyan shillings, that will be more than our budget, but translated is 529 trillion Kenyan shillings. So businesses ambao walikuwa na look forward to this is something you should prepare those business plans and whatnot to see what comes out of JP Morgan. Benyojuang amesema loans, better get them there than chukue hustler fund alafu potea na ikujiwe, since Moses Kuria, who's now an economic advisor to the President of the Republic, says pay bill numbers lazima zikujiwe. Comment ya Kemboi about any note of positivity in this?
Okay, first, availability to credit creates cash flow. And when there's cash flow, people have the purchasing power. And the economy stabilizes. So when this bank come to Kenya, I think those traders and business people will have access to credit. And they'll be able to expand their businesses more. They can gain more profit.
Yes.
And there will be a lot of money in circulation.
Right.
And it will boost the economy significantly.
Right. Page 14 of the Business Daily also mentions that the International Monetary Fund, our biggest op, will relieve Kenyans from paying millions of shillings in surcharges that were there due to the high interest rates globally, which have pushed up our borrowing costs. Inamaanisha ile loan tuko nayo hatutalipa hizo extra charges sana. That's a bit of a relief also combined with that JP Morgan case. Ojong Mariam,
so hapo hivyo kwa mambo ya biashara ulikuwa umesema tunaingia kwa Adani.
Yes, Adani.
Sasa sikiza, ukurasa wa 5 gazeti la The Standard.
Yes.
Adani's covert deal with the state began last year, court told. The High Court of Kenya was told that a copy of PIP was sent to David Ndii. So David Ndii, sasa watu wamekuwa kitafuta sura ya Adani ni nani? Nani wako ndani ya Adani?
Yes.
Wakenya wanaenda wakitoa kidogo kidogo.
So David Ndii received your PIP last year, 2023. May, you said?
Yeah. Ali received confirming month. Yeah, April. Yeah.
Okay.
It is alleged that Adani submitted privately initiated proposal to Kenya Airports Authority in April 2023. Lawyer Ndegwa said that the deal is helping Lawyer Ndegwa said that the deal is being worked backwards.
Yes.
Umeshika?
Wana connect dot backwards
to favor the farm. Wanaziconnect hivi. Yenye mnakuja hii side, wanasonga hivi vingine. But one thing that I've loved about the Kenyan youths, they are mostly the Gen Zs. That hakuna jobs. Hiyo ndo kitu tumekuwa tukilia.
Yes.
Especially sisi wenye ni millennials tumekuwa tukilia hakuna jobs. So tumeanza kupata ujanja za mambo ya ku-earn digitally. So our younger brothers and sisters, the Gen Z, wamekuja perfect that. Wanatumia mpaka AI kujua vile ambavyo wata access information, wanafanya research. Vitu kama hizo ndo zinasaidia mpaka kwa koti. Unapiga nini unapata na document fulani. Unarushia wakili fulani. Tunapitia tunapata kumbe hii Adani is not an Asian company. The Asian company ni phase 2. Hawa ni Wakenya wenzetu wanajigawia mali ya umma. Wanataka airport ikue yao, wanataka health systems ikue zao in proxies.
And electricity.
Yeah, na electricity As they are doing that, gazeti bado la The Standard, ukurasa wa 7, facing Mount Kenya, Kalonzo stakes to claim the mountain. Hapo hivyo politics inacheza fiti sana, but the biggest question inakuwa, will Kalonzo ever be taken by Mount Kenya as a presidential candidate? My take. Apart from 2007, when kulikuwaga na ODM Kenya, and Kalonzo went for the presidency, akapita katikati ya Raila na Kibaki akakuwa number 3. Yes. Apart from that, Kalonzo has always lived in the shadows of Raila as a deputy president.
Yes.
Hatujaona mahali Kalonzo as a president from that time. So ni ngumu sana yeye kurudi Mount Kenya saa hizi mahali siasa ili change. Siasa ya Mount Kenya saa hizi ina change. Mount Kenya imekuwa ni tribal. Wanasema watu wa Mount Kenya juu ya tribal. Wanasema watu wa Rift Valley juu ya tribal. 3 years to come. Hawa kina Kemboi hawa wameoana huko Murang'a. Utakuwa ukishangaa watu wa kwetu ni wapi?
Kweli.
3 years to come now 2027. Sisi tutakuwa tumeingia si naitwa Ojwang. Imagine sasa mimi Ojwang nimeoa demu wa kutoka huko Uluoni. Na tumwambie sasa hapa ni kwetu. Mwingine huko kunaitwaje? Changamwe, Pwani yote.
Masema Pwani yote.
Hii card yenye watu wanaangalia facing Mount Kenya will not help them.
There'll be nowhere to face because Mount Kenya will be everywhere.
Face your God, face us.
Yes.
We are the people.
Right.
And all power belongs to us.
All right.
Exactly.
Ketraco to disclose Adani tariffs in 95 billion power deal. So read more of that Adani takeover on the Business Daily. Itakuwa hapo page 2. It seems we have a lot of money actually. I keep seeing that, and the question huwa kila mtu anauliza hapa ni yes, we have the money, but how is it being used? There's a story on page 5 of the Business Daily also, where Ruto ordered a cash mop-up on eCitizen on parastatals, and they were able to get 65 billion in 3 months collection from non-tax revenue sources. And there's money. If you look, there's money. If you look at this corner, you shake it up a bit, there's money. But the question always is, how is it being spent? Inflation is going down, the shilling is strengthening, things are looking good on paper, but in the ground, ni kama mambo sio similar. So that's what is happening, and you can read page 5 on how much money and where it came from in that eCitizen shake-up. World Bank has also actually agreed that these Gen Z protests are a good thing, and they have put the administration's influence, or have pointed towards the abandonment or the loss in faith in the administration as influence or sway in the public. And therefore, when Kenya drafts up, or the government drafts up the next finance bill, it must account for the views of these Gen Z protesters, according to the World Bank Chief Economist for Africa, Andrew Dubin, who says that new tax and policy reforms measures must seek to address the protesters' grievances if they are to pass the test of public acceptance. Finya hiyo pressure, inafika IMF, inafika World Bank, clearly, who are our biggest ops from that side of the world, who bring these programs which eventually are trickled down as taxation. The more noise we make, if someone told you that there was no gain and there was no success out of what has happened in mass resistance in the past few months, point them to some of these stories. Ndo hii hapa inafanyika. World Bank wamefeel pressure, IMF ndo wamefanya policy reviews, so we're expecting that the more that continues, do not lose hope. Hata hii mambo ya Adani tutatupilia mbali. It is just 5 minutes to the close of the show. I'd like you to give me tuanze na Kemboi, labda kuna kitu nimesahau hapo moja tuangalilie. Okay. An important story. Then Ojwang pia anaweza nipatia story moja pale, nigushe moja, and then we close up.
Let me talk about the agencies.
Yes.
The one that you have just mentioned right now.
Yes.
You know, what drives the Gen Zs is that the intellectual capacity that they have in their minds. You know, the Gen Zs are people who have watched a lot of movies, series, these movies from the US, UK, Wapi. They watch these movies. They see how people of their age live in those third world countries. While them in Kenya here, they imagine the situation they are. Msesa yako kwa hostel amekaa anaangalia tu TikTok, ametulia hapo. Huko nje hana saa hiyo sapa, anaangalia maisha ya watu pale majuu venye wanakaa. Hiyo ndio uchungu wako nayo. Imagine huyo Gen Z yako kwa hostel pale amekaa kwa kitanda anaangalia TikTok venye watu wanaenjoy maisha pale majuu. Then anaangalia vile parliament yetu iko hapa, au wase wanaiba pesa, wanafanya nini, no leader is concerned about industrialization, the high rate of unemployment, they are graduating, hakuna mahali wanaenda. Hiyo ndio shida ya Gen Z wako nayo, na inawauma, inawapea pressure. That's why unaona tunafanya hii maandamano. Hiyo maandamano unaona imeenda mpaka IMF, World Bank wame-recognize it's something world class. And we actually need change in Kenya. mazee tuko na mashida mingi kama youth.
Right.
Hiyo ndo shida tuko nayo. Na Gen Z tunasukuma hiyo agenda bado. We need a better country. That's why tunaangalia huyu msee Morara kitu anafanya. Morara mazee tunamsupport. If ako genuine si tunamsupport. Tunamsupport kabisa.
Kweli.
Ili nchi ibadilike. Tuko na industries. Mtu kumaliza shule unaenda kufanya kazi kwa industry. Sasa unapata msee alimaliza analytical chemistry. Msee yako tu hajielewi yako. Analytical chemistry ni course nyingine kali sana. Majuu mtu ungekuwa analipwa na dollars, a lot of money. Sasa msee yako Kenya yako hapa Kidhurai amekaa tu anaanza.
Amejaza knowledge kwa kichwa. That is what we find ourselves in. Asante sana Kembo for that. That intellectual capacity, which is also the change that is happening with the new generation, and also public speaking skills. They are the most outspoken. We are the most outspoken generation, and that is making, progress. Kwamba ukiwa na issue, the guest I had earlier hapa anasema ukiwa na issue unaisema, hapa naogopa mtu. Kifinya mahali sema unalifinya hapa. Namna gani Ruto? John Mariam?
I'm saddened.
Yes.
By the state we are in as youth of this country. I'm saddened by the state our younger sisters and brothers are in, the Gen Zs. Na vile wanajaribu kujituma. And my call today is to our elder generations.
Yes.
Wazazi wetu na kupanda. Sisi kama watoto wenyu mmeona tukistruggle up to this point. Tukijaribu kufanya vitu zikuwe nzuri. Mmetufunza, mmetupeleka shule, mmetuelimisha, mkingojea tukuje tuwasaidie. Lose hope that tunamaliza shule na hakuna kazi. But tushaelewa that education is the key to success. Does not mean niingie class, ni perfect kile teacher anasema, ndo niende niajiriwe nipate kazi. Ndo nikusaidie. We've learned that education is all-rounded. Go to a university, meet all the faces of Kenya, network with them in class, outside class, in clubs, in societies, so that you can be empowered enough to create jobs and spaces for your fellow youths. Our parents, that is what we are exactly doing. But in 2022, you failed us. Just like you've been doing time and again, voting someone on the basis of huyu ni wetu, the mtu wetu mentality, the tribal card. We've proven that there's goodness in electing people you don't know, but you know their work. We've had independent senators like Okia Omtata doing good. But we've also had sellout independent MPs like the current Kasarani MP, Ronald Karaoli, who voted for yes for a bill that public participation watu walisema hapana hatutaki. They've gone ahead kwa hii mambo ya impeachment ya Gachagua. They are debating on their emotions and stomachs, not what we people of Kenya want. In my constituency, for example, there was no public participation. Kulikuwa na watu wawili watatu na nawajua wote wenye walikuwa wana participate kwa public participation, wenye walikuwa wanapeana form na pesa, na wanaita watu Githurai social hall, but hall haifunguliwi. Hatukatai public participation inafaa ikuwe oral ama written, but there is no point tutulete hapa kwa TV alafu endeni mukasome tu gazeti. There is no point tutulete public participation kwa hall na umefunga hall na ati tunaongea tunasema Gachagua aende ama abaki. Either way bado tungesema impeach both. But for now, our parents, in 2027, please listen to your children. It is time. Ruto is not saving you and they will not save you.
Yes.
And your children will, because we care about you. Msituangushe. Kenya yote mpaka Rift Valley unasikia wakisema hatuko mahali pazuri. Wewe mzazi unanipigia unaniambia tuko mahali pazuri. 2027 usisahau hivyo. Tuko mahali pazuri.
All right. Asante sana John Mariam. Just to close it up at that point, the newspaper review last word on the Business Daily. The worst pain a man can suffer to have insight into much and power over nothing. The worst pain a man can suffer is to have insight into much and power over nothing. That's exactly the description that we can put it on the Kenyan youth and the current situation in the country. So hapa ndio tuko. We have much insight into what's going on, but power over nothing. So think about how we can gain power over everything. Here is something for you, 26th of October 2024 from 8:30 p.m. at Malaika Lounge in Malindi. Yeah? Pale Malindi ndani, Fashion Diaries ya hapa kwetu plus KUTV. We'll be looking to cover this Malindi High Fashion 3rd edition of 2024. I believe we were also present in the previous edition. Yes, Ashley Asachi represented us very well there. She's the host of Fashion Diaries here on KUTV every Monday at 8 p.m. But this 26th October 2024, tutakuwa pale Malindi inside, opposite Buntwani Waterfront. The after party will also be at Malaika Lounge in Malindi. Tickets are at 1,000 shillings only. It's a high fashion event for 1,000 shillings. In dollars, that's like nothing. So for that nothing dollars, you can go for a high fashion event and experience this and see, you know, how it feels like to be in a Balenciaga show, in a Louis Vuitton show. If you can't make it kufika huko, fika Malindi, chukua 1,000 shilling, chukua 1,000 bob, enda hapa hivi, lipa na M-Pesa, till number pale imewekwa. You can also check out this on our social platforms. I'm sure this will be there, but nikusomea hiyo till haraka kwa wale wako na pesa mkononi. 813-77-32. 813-77-32. Pay there 1,000 shillings to Anane Malindi, 26th of October 2024. That brings me to the end of this show this morning on KTV Rise. Today my name is Richard OKENYE and this has been Biashara Tuesday. We discuss everything that matters because business is everywhere, from economics to politics to technology to religion. We will shine our eyes there and see where the business is, who's making money in there and who is losing money. So make sure you catch us every week, every morning on Tuesday 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. But on Monday, that gentleman who's seated right across me, Ojwang Mariam, brings you art and culture from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Hapo ni mahali ya wasanii, mahali ya utamaduni, mahali ya culture. That's why you begin your week. And then you pick it up here every Tuesday morning. I'm closing it at this point. Follow me on social media at Richard_Kenya, at KUTV Kenya. That's where you find out all our broadcast at. To close it from the quote of my current read, which is again, Other People's Money by John Kay. It says, we all chase the dream, but when taken to excess by individuals or in crowds, the chasing of dreams becomes madness. And chasing the dream with other people's money is at best irresponsible and often fraudulent. Government of Kenya most. See you later.